Monday night games are really boring, but kind of looking at the
Storm.
Schedule release just came out. What do you guys like about what you've seen so far between primetime games, Niners schedule?
I mean, I like the Niners schedule. The first two games are road games, and they have two at home. The primetime games, they don't seem that bad. There's not really anything the game that I'm most excited for, I think, looking at the schedule, is the Chicago game in Week 17, the 28th of December. That's going to be a primetime game. That's probably the game that has like the most interest for me. But the Niners were already stated to have like the easy schedule in terms of like win-loss percentage. So I didn't really expect a crazy schedule with a lot of like really big name teams on here. Um, I like the Niners schedule. I think it's balanced. I don't think there's any really big gauntlets they have to go through. I think if the Niners can get through the first 13 weeks without getting drained or dealing with injuries, just because they do have a Week 14 bye week, I think if they can kind of surpass that, this team can easily set up for a playoff run, and they'll be more than fine.
Yeah, I think like weeks like 1 through 4, you're looking at Seattle, New Orleans, Arizona, and Jacksonville. Like those are pretty like winnable games, obviously, especially New Orleans, Jacksonville most likely too. Like those are for sure 2 win games. The other ones are like division games, so it can obviously go either way in division games. But honestly, I have the Niners probably starting 4-0 right there. About saying like that there's no gauntlet. I think like week 5 through week 8 is tough. Like they're not like insanely great teams. Like you're not playing like, insane teams, but you're playing, playoff teams, like except Atlanta. You have LA, you have the Rams, and you go Buccaneers, Falcons, and Texans. Like those are pretty 4 like solid games right in a row. Luckily, you have New York right after, so you got like a layup game right after, hopefully. Um, but
All NFL team layup.
no, I'm just kidding, obviously. But
Bro, it's New York,
those
still
those
right
4
up.
like week 5 through 8 is pretty tough. But then after that, it gets pretty like hit or miss. You know what I mean with some of these teams, like with New York, and then you have LA, and then from that you go Arizona, Carolina, and then Cleveland, and then into the bye.
Yeah, New England's first 8 games they open with the Raiders, so that's going to be kind of a coin flip game. I imagine the spread on that's going to be really tight. They got Sunday Night Football in Week 5 against the Bills in New York, so that's going to be interesting to how that game's going to play out because they played them pretty hard last time. Team's better, so it'll be interesting. But besides that, they got Miami. Miami's just tough because they seem to always struggle when they play at Miami. And the weather's warm. I mean, the weather's warm year round in Miami, but I think ideally they got the Steelers, they got the Saints, the Titans, and the Browns as well. I think, and the Panthers. I think ideally they should get out of there 5-3, 6-2. I think there's a real shot at 7-1, but I think 5-3 should be the goal. Now the second half of the season is where it ramps up. Yeah, you get the Jets twice, so those are automatic layups.
Can't call them layups.
I
But
don't know if the Jets are late.
they got Buffalo at home, the Ravens and the Bengals both on the road. Those are going to be tough games. All 3 of those. The Bucks and Tampa Bay is going to be tough. Atlanta's hard. Atlanta's going to be a tough one too. That's a tough one to really measure how good.
Atlanta's going to be different.
Actually, they play the game. So I don't feel great against Tampa Bay, Cincinnati, and Baltimore and Buffalo. I like both games against the Jets. They got Monday Night Football at home against at home against the Giants. They close the season with Miami at home. Atlanta, I think ideally with this, stretch, you want to try to go 5-4. That puts you at 10-7, and I think that's an acceptable record to potentially make the playoffs. But I think the way the schedule's set is it's similar to Mac Jones's rookie season, where it was really weak in the middle, so they had a good record that kind of slingshot them in the playoffs, but then they played playoff teams at the end of the season. and then they got humbled, and then obviously they got whooped in the wild card against Buffalo. So I think that's the issue here, and I think the real test is going to be how well they play against Buffalo and Baltimore, because Buffalo and Baltimore, you got to think will be competing for the top of the AFC. So having the Jets and Dolphins as cool off games to go into the playoffs to rebuild confidence after playing two really hard games, I think is nice, and potentially slingshot them in. So I think anywhere from 10-7 to 7-10 is where New England's going to finish the season. But I think they're going to be in the wild card hunt 100% for sure.
I think week 1 for New England is going to be an interesting one
It's
where
gonna
you're
be a
gonna
fun one.
you're gonna tell a lot, yeah, because you're gonna see if you have like both teams with like pretty big off seasons, so it's gonna be interesting to watch that game and see kind of where New England and Vegas is gonna look like.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm really excited. That Pittsburgh game can always be a sleeper difficult game. It just depends on what happens with their quarterback situation. But
Or the show, bro, Jack.
Say hi, Jack.
say hi, Jack. But let's go ahead and look at. I had the Monday night games pulled up. You have?
I can get the Monday games.
I got the Monday. So week 1's Minnesota and Chicago. That's kind of what you make of it, in my opinion.
That'll be
Week 2
pretty
has the
solid.
I mean, I think that'll
doubleheader.
be cool because you
Yeah.
have JJ McCarthy coming
Oh,
back.
that's right, his debut.
So it's gonna be the new era in Minnesota. Obviously, it's gonna be the new era with Ben Johnson and the Bears. They've completely
That'll
revamped
be
the
an interesting
team.
one. So that's the first
So-
Thursday night.
Monday night.
Oh, Monday night, my bad.
I really like week 2 because you have the doubleheader with the Bucks and the Texans will be the early one, and the Chargers and Raiders are the later game. I think that's a solid. Honestly, Monday night, just look kind of briefly skimming over it. It's pretty schedule's pretty good. Week 3 is going to be good because it'll be the Ravens and Detroit. Week 4 has a double header, the Jets and Dolphins. So no one cares about that. And then you have Cincinnati and Denver in week 4.
That's gonna be a
That's
game,
gonna
dude.
be a good
that,
game.
That game, like, wasn't it the last game of the year last year?
That was probably a game of the year.
Yeah,
too.
that game was nuts. That was back and forth. Me and Derek were talking about that the other day. Like all like those missed kicks.
Watching it.
Yeah, like that was a crazy ass game. That'll be a good one to watch.
I was spazzing out in a casino in Tahoe watching that one. October 6th was that week 5. You got Chiefs and Jags. That game, dude, the Jags.
I think the Jags can really ascend this year. I don't think the Jags are gonna be a bad football team. But you gotta move your backpack for Jack, bro.
Jack's good. He's chilling.
No, he's not. Look, he wants his chair. You put your bag in his chair.
But Jacksonville, do they have any more? That's
I
their only
think-
Monday night game.
I think Jacksonville is going to be really good this year. I wouldn't be surprised if Jacksonville went into this game against Kansas City and won.
Oh, it's at home, dude. That's gonna. I think
it's-
they're gonna win it.
Dude,
Going through like the rest of the schedule, I think one that's going to be really exciting, honestly.
oh, Jack, get out of here, dog.
I think one that's going to be really exciting is LA versus Dallas, just because I think Las Vegas versus Dallas, just because I honestly I really do think the Raiders are going to be a lot better than they were years prior. Like I think this year they're going to take the right steps. They've really addressed the quarterback situation. They've really addressed all the big needs, and I think we will see the Raiders kind of make some noise. And obviously, like Cowboys primetime games, that's something that's just going to be forever a thing.
Dallas is gonna be better this year too.
I think Dallas will be better. I don't think they were bad last year. I think they had a lot of ups and downs as a football team does, and then Dak Prescott gets hurt, so kind of deal with a lot of issues. But I think the schedule is going to be super exciting this year. I was concerned that games were going to be boring, like some Sunday night games last year, which were not great. Some Monday night games were really boring, but kind of looking at the. Oh, where's his jersey at?
Yeah, where's Jack's jersey? He has a little CMC jersey.
Looking at the overall schedule, I think a lot of games are going to be really fun. The
Eagles, Chargers.
Eagles Chargers in
Banger.
week 14. That's going to be a really important game because in week 14, that's where you're going to start getting more playoff implications. You're going to start getting games that are going to be more meaningful that you don't want to drop. We saw the Eagles go into LA last year, and Saquon Barkley put on a masterclass and pretty much won that game for Philadelphia. I really like the schedule. I think it's going to be a lot of fun this year. The Niners have, I believe it's one. They have 2 Monday night games.
Oh, you guys got Carolina at home.
We have
That'll be
Carolina on
fun.
the 24th. Um, that'll be really fun.
Is that's in November?
Yeah.
That's in November. That's a
And then they
like
have
It's
Thanksgiving.
like Thanksgiving weekend. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then they have the Colts. I'm not really.
I don't care
Colts
about
are-
Indianapolis. I
Colts-
think Indianapolis is one of the most boring teams in the NFL, dude.
They can be, yeah. And then we have a really nice little doubleheader right here. This October 13th, we have the Bills and the Falcons, and then we follow that up with Caleb Williams versus Jaden Daniels rematch.
Yeah, that's a good one to
So
highlight.
it's gonna be a really fun season. Monday night schedule looks really good.
Good storyline right there with Caleb and Jaden. Two big like offensive teams too going at it. It should be a really good matchup.
Sunday night's got some good ones. So we all know the kickoff game. So Dallas and Philly. So we always know Dallas and Philly pawn a banger.
Poor Dallas. They're gonna play the first.
Baltimore
It's
and
Max.
Buffalo week 1. That's good. Week 2, Penix versus McCarthy.
8 versus 9.
Week
That should
3
be a
is
good one, honestly.
Week 3's weak because it's the Chiefs and the Giants. Week 4 will be Packers Cowboys. That's a fun one. Week 5, Patriots Bills. No one cares for that outside the fan bases. Week 6 will be Lions and Chiefs. That'll be a good one. Falcons Niners week 7.
Falcons Niners should be a good game too. I think Atlanta's going to be pretty solid this year with Michael Penix.
Yeah. But
think
the
it's a
Niners
good-
should win convincingly.
I do. I
I think
honestly.
the Niners are going to win that
I really
game.
don't think the Niners have a hard schedule.
No.
I really think it's the easy schedule.
Like right now,
And
as it is, I think I have the Niners going like 13-4. But obviously the Niners are going to Niner and they're going to probably drop a couple games to some dumb teams.
talk about it, Aaron. Look at this.
Week 8, Packers and Steelers. I don't like it. It comes down to Rodgers, obviously. Seahawks Commanders, not, that one's all right. Chart. And then you get the Steelers 2 weeks later. Like, I don't want to watch them in LA. I like the Lions and Eagles in week 11. Love the Bucks and Rams in week 12. Thanksgiving, we're going to get the classic. I'm so happy that's the Thanksgiving night game with the Bengals and the Ravens. That is such a banger game to have as
Hell
the
yeah.
Thanksgiving night game.
I feel like what were the Thanksgiving games last year? I feel like they were pretty.
They were. Who
It was
was
like
the
there
night
was
game?
Dallas and I think it was Dallas and someone. I forgot what the other game. I remember just being so checked out. I didn't care.
Detroit played Chicago, I think, in the morning, and Chicago almost came back, but they blew it.
Yeah,
and
they
I think
like-
that's why Eberflus got fired.
Yep.
I don't remember who Dallas played, but I'm sure they played one of their divisional games. I want to say they played the Giants.
I think it was the Giants.
I have no recollection of who the Sunday or the Thursday night game was, though. I could not tell you. Broncos Commanders will be good in week 13. Then you got Chiefs and Texans in week 14 will be good. Week 15's Vikings Cowboys. Week 16 Bengals Dolphins. That's in Miami. There's an exclusive Peacock game Saturday night on December 27th. So week 17 they don't have that game yet. So that'll be flexed. Week 17 Niners and Bears. That on the Niners schedule, that's the game I got circled. That's the
Yeah,
one I
that's
want to
gonna be
go
a
to
good
the
one.
most.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest game on the Niners. The division games. There's really nothing else that like really moves me as like exciting to watch. Of course, all the games are exciting to watch, but the game I'm looking forward to that game. Looking at the Niners schedule, I have them going 1-0 against Seattle. They beat New Orleans. I have them going 5-0 to start the year. I think they beat Seattle. They beat New Orleans, Arizona. I think Jacksonville will be a good team. It won't be a layup game, but they'll win that game. I think the Niners own the Rams. I think last year was a fluke. I'm not really concerned about the Rams as a Niner fan that often. I think they will drop a game to Tampa Bay. I'm going 5-1. I have them beating the Falcons. I have them losing to Houston. They beat New York. They beat the Rams again. And then we have the Cardinals, Panthers, Browns. Those are all three going to be wins, unless the Niners do bye week. And we have Tennessee, Indianapolis. That's 2 more wins. Then we have Chicago and Seattle. I'll give us the benefit of the doubt, and I'll have them drop a game to Chicago, and then they beat Seattle. I don't think they'll lose a division game this year. I don't think the Cardinals are that much better. I don't think Seattle is that much better. I think the Rams are on pace with them, but I think the Niners should have went 8-0 the division last year. I think they literally blew every game in the division. Um, at least 6-2, but I honestly think they can go 8-0. So that's what I got.
I see them going 6-2 in the division. I see them dropping one game to Arizona and one game to LA. I think they're a way better team than Arizona, but I think Arizona did have some like good, somewhat decent offseason. Yeah, they had a good draft. So especially like even when Arizona sucks, dude. Like the Niners always play Arizona close. So those I honestly have us splitting that series.
Yeah. And then on to Thursday Night Football. So now that I got a good look at it, dude, Jags only getting one primetime game sucks because I think they're going to be good. Can one of you guys look up to see who they play in Week 18? Because if it's Houston, I bet you there's a chance that ends up being the Week 18 Sunday night game. But you got Commanders and Packers is the first Thursday night game. I like that. Dolphins Bills seems like we always get a Dolphins Bills Thursday night game or primetime game. Cardinals Seahawks, looking like a normal Thursday night schedule right now, but it picks up Niners Rams. Why are we getting so much NFC West attention? Oh, great. Eagles Giants. Oh, can't wait to watch that one. Steelers Bengals. It's not getting any better. Okay, Vikings Chargers is good. Ravens Dolphins could potentially be good. Raiders Broncos should be good. Jets Patriots sucks except for me.
The AFC West is gonna be really exciting.
Yeah. Okay, there we go. Bills Texans is gonna be that's a really good one. Bears Eagles is the Black Friday game.
That game's gonna be sick. Bears Eagles is gonna be a good game.
And they put
Never mind. Jacksonville's going 0-17.
Then it's cool because they took since that's Thanksgiving week, they gave the Cowboys and the Lions the Thursday night game the following week. Probably should have gave it to the two road teams.
What did you just see on there?
Oh,
They just did.
Oh,
they had
man.
they did.
they
That guy,
did the Ashton Hall stuff.
yeah, they had Ashton Hall come and
Yeah.
do the routine for the
Oh,
schedule.
no.
oh,
release.
and 17.
But the
Falcons
last team that they
sucks.
play is gonna be the Titans. Last game.
Falcons Bucks usually play pretty good. Rams Seahawks. And then lastly, you got Broncos and Chiefs on Christmas Day. So that'll be awesome. And they have a wild card game too. I like most of the schedule. Thursday night's rough. Thursday nights are always rough.
Thursday night schedules always suck.
I would like to see the Jags get more primetime love.
You'll get
and
some
the
random,
Panthers.
like a few good games here and there, but yeah, Thursday night
I just feel
generally
like
always
Thursday
is
night
bad.
isn't or Sunday night. Sunday night, Monday night games are good. Thursday games are they're just kind of like they're just like filler games. Sometimes they're really good. Most of the time they're not. Hopefully this year that they're better.
They save the bangers for Sunday and Monday.
I
Yeah.
think if they ever expand the schedule, which I'm sure they will, if they go to 18 games and add the extra bye week, I think they need to do bye week, Thursday night game, and then they have like the 10 days off till the next Sunday or Monday game. I think that would be a good way where they could kind of filter in more better games per se. But Thursday night will always have a sneaky, really good game that we won't expect. And just to pull it back up, if I had to take a wild guess on what that sneaky good one would be, oh man, I don't really like any of them. Probably one of the NFC West games. I mean, the Niners and Rams are a pretty safe bet for a good game.
Niners and Rams is always going to be closer for the
Depending,
most part.
but honestly, like if I had to guess on which one has game of the year potential by looking at the Thursday night schedule that you wouldn't think, I would say it's probably the Raiders and the Broncos.
Yeah, honestly, I'm excited to watch a lot of the AFC West games, minus
It's
than the
dark
Chiefs.
horse.
Honestly, I hate watching the Chiefs, but
We will hate watching them.
I'm excited to watch Vegas this year and Denver. I think they're both going to be honestly pretty good teams. I don't know how good Vegas is going to be, but they're obviously going to be a lot more competitive in their division than they have in the past. So a lot of those divisional games, I think they're going to be pretty interesting to watch.
Yeah.
I mean, they always are, even when like the teams are bad. Like divisional games, especially the AFC West, are obviously really.
Yeah. Just to go around on what I think game of the years would be potentially. So coming from the Sunday night football. Oh, I say it's 100% week 12. That Bucks and Rams game, I think, is going to be huge.
Shootout.
It's going to be a shootout for sure. I like that one. And then Monday Night Football. Let me pull that up. I'm gonna go with the Patriots and the Giants. No, it won't be that one.
Jackson Dart versus Drake
Drake
May.
May.
New England
is
versus
like-
Miami. Tua versus Drake, man.
Tampa Bay is a tough one to. I'd say no, it's the Bengals and the Broncos. I'm gonna go with what I think last year's game of the year was. I'm gonna go with same this year. Chiefs and Jags is another one. Monday, I think the Monday night schedule is better than the Sunday night schedule on the low. I like a lot of the Monday night games. I don't love the double headers because then you kind of get screwed with having to. One game starts an hour earlier before the other, and I don't love that. But, I mean, I feel like it's prime time. There should only be 2 teams on prime time. But I'm sure there's some contractual obligations that where they get like 20 games or something. And it doesn't say if they have it doesn't say if the Monday night crew has a playoff game, but I'm sure they'll get one. I think they get one every year.
They always get one for the wild card. Not gonna say on there,
but Prime did they have a wild card game last year?
probably.
They have a wild card
There
game
was an
this year.
exclusive game. I'm pretty sure it was Prime.
And there's like a Sunday night,
I'm pretty
Saturday
sure-
night game that's a exclusive Peacock game.
I'm pretty sure it was the Houston and KC game that was on.
Yeah, the schedule very exciting. It's probably the last football content that's really fresh and be out there. Everything else now is going to be waiting for mini camp and fantasy stuff and looking at the rookie. Nice little refreshing, get us excited for the season type of thing. I'm
I'm
excited.
excited.
I like the Niners schedule. The week 14 bye is a little intimidating. I think it would have been better at week 10, but I'd rather have a week 14 bye than a week 4
100%.
every day.
100% later buy is better than a
100%.
crazy
I
early
agree.
I am
buy.
taking a week 14 bye over a week
Yeah, because you don't want to
every
play
week.
12 games straight and then go to the playoffs. Let's suck.
Yeah, I also don't think the Niners schedule is that hard. So in wear and tear, it doesn't really matter who you play. But I expect big things from them. I think they did everything off season. They replaced what needs to replace. And I expect the team to do a lot better than.
Shout out us. None of our teams are playing international games, so we got no reason to wake up at 6 a.m. either this year.
Let's
Yeah,
go.
wait until you get the fantasy and you draft some fantasy.
Brees Hall.
I had to wake up at 6 a.m. and watch Brees Hall not do anything. Bro. I had to watch the backup get the goal line touches. Contemplating my life. Grandpa said, "What are you doing awake?"
Don't talk to me, Pop.
Don't talk to me.
Just sitting there so depressed and miserable. Brees Hall is like 3 points, and
3
it's
points in the third quarter. Grandpa's like, "You're up early." Yeah, I am.
watching peak NFL right now. At least they're not sending like the 2 worst teams in football anymore, like they kind of did there for a minute. They're sending like
for
the
a long
Jags.
time, yeah, they were just sending like
They're
when
sending
the Jacksonville was
Jacksonville.
like absolutely horrible.
It's because Jacksonville has a lot of like Jacksonville is like London's like team.
Yeah, because they keep sending
Because they
them
kept
there.
sending them
They
there.
wanted to go.
Yeah.
'Cause
So here's Jacksonville and Tennessee, dude. Like, have fun.
They're exciting now.
Yeah,
More exciting.
it's gonna be interesting to watch.
I think it's going to be a fun season for everybody except the Browns and the Saints, to be completely honest.
The Saints are gonna be a shit show.
In Cleveland,
I don't think Cleveland. I think Cleveland's gonna be.
dude,
I
Cleveland
think
might
Cleveland
go.
will be better, but
I think-
Cleveland is not gonna go.
Dude, Cleveland's going to be picking in the top 5 for sure.
Yeah, they're probably gonna be top of that.
And
That's
obviously New Orleans. But based on everything else, I couldn't pinpoint maybe Tennessee picks in the top 5 again, but other than that, I think every team has improved. I don't think anyone's got that's why the Steelers got worse, but they're not going to be picking in the top 5. Mike Tomlin won't allow it.
Will Howard's gonna save the day, bro. Next Big Ben.
I kind of hope he's their starter.
He probably will be, bro. And Rudolph. He's really not even on the team. Who's the other guy?
No, Rudolph is, oh wait, yeah, he's in Tennessee. I
Yeah,
don't
pretty
know
sure
who the
Mason Rudolph's in
backup is.
Tennessee. I don't know who
I don't know who the backup is
quarterback.
because they lost Fields and Wilson. Oh, the Jets. No, picking top 5 and probably the Giants too.
Don't sleep on Justin.
Probably be both New York teams, Tennessee, Cleveland, New Orleans, no particular order. Any other games that really stand out for you guys before we go ahead and close this little short episode out?
I think the one I'm looking forward to the most, I know we already kind of talked about Chicago and
Oh, dude, I can't wait for that.
that San Francisco game is going to be.
We got to go to that one. That's
Yeah, I
bad
think we should
takes
try to go to that game.
takes the Niners and the Bears.
It'll be fun, dude.
Very disappointed that my special LA trip has Seattle and the Rams. I got excited because I thought it was the Bucks and the Rams. I'm like, oh, dude, that's awesome. Nope. Good old NFC West battle.
Let's go. Been 17-10.
What's the score of this?
I'll be at the Museum of Art and Film instead of watching that mid game.
No, you're not, bro. You're not gonna go anywhere. You're gonna sit in your
I'll be at SoFi. But just want to thank you guys for watching the episode. We'll be coming at you with some fantasy content, some top fives and everything later on. Go ahead and check out TikToks and stuff as we go down the schedule release and keep giving thoughts and opinions on everything. I don't know why Derek's laughing. His team's like an hour and a half away from being eliminated from the playoffs. As my team's like 4.5 hours away from being eliminated from the playoffs. See, I hate on the Warriors a little bit.
But slap them on camera, or should I wait?
There will be more baseball and basketball content coming, as well as fantasy football, because can't wait to get into that. But yeah, go ahead, comment, like, subscribe, and thank you for watching.